Hello, my name is Justin Bilyeu, and I'm going to be showing you in this video how to do our step reimbursement application. So similar to our step application video, it starts with the link that will take you into the correct form, and that can either be found in the original email that we sent to you that said that you were awarded the grant and how to apply for reimbursement. That should have this link. If you can't find that, you can request it. Or again, you can always go to our Commerce website and just hop to the grants and loans section and look it up manually there. It can get a little confusing, so I definitely recommend using the direct link. So then you would go and you'll see the original step application and then the reimbursement application there. So let's just go and follow that direct link. By now you should already have theoretically created a login, and then you just have to click apply. Again, we don't use this application form section. We go right to this blue apply button. You'll see that it says step reimbursement here on the landing page, letting you know you're in the reimbursement form. This could be a little confusing if you end up in the other one and you don't see places for your receipts and such. So yeah, it's important to know you're in the right form. You'll click apply, and again, you should already have your login. If you're a company, it'll be the citizen login button. If you're like, that was a while ago, I don't remember what my passcode was, and I don't know how to find it. Again, you can always call our state IT team, and then there's the number, and then dial 2 for login support, and they'll get you logged back in. If you're somebody who's submitting the reimbursement and somebody else created the original application, it will probably have, unless they gave you their credentials, you're probably just going to want to go ahead and create your own login. And they can either find the original creator, can either find the registration number that'll link them on their profile page, or again, you can always call state IT and they can look up that registration number that will link your accounts, and then you will have access to the same applications and same company. So I'll click state, but most people again will be citizen, login. That'll take you in to the reimbursement form. Again, you'll be tempted to click start application, but that creates the draft after you've already completed the basic information. So you'll create the basic information, then you can create your draft and come back. And again, if you're like, oh, I need to track down a receipt that I thought I had, but I don't have, create the draft after you get in this basic info, and then you can always come back, re-edit it, and then submit. So we'll do a quick test here. You actually want to have the right amount of numbers here. And then export. Then it'll be like, okay, which activities are you asking for reimbursement for? You can apply for multiple at the same time, or different reimbursement application per activity, but it might be easiest. Let's say you did 2 trade shows, or you have multiple travel stipends that you did over the spring and you want to just do one application for all of them. That's fine. You can go down here, get a request if this is international, you're going to request your 2000. And then you'll upload first step is to upload the business meeting and contacts. That just shows that, hey, I traveled to Norway and this is who I met with, just so we have it in our records and for the SBA that you had business meetings there. It wasn't just a leisure trip. So then you'll come through, you'll see where you can list your travel expenses, the expense type, the expense amount, the matching receipt. So let's do a hotel, $700, and then you'll upload that matching receipt that shows the $700. If it's in a different currency, we have to go through and use our converter. So you can convert it yourself and put something here, but we will actually go through and reconvert it with our converter that's approved with the SBA. So if you just want to put in whatever the non-converted amount is, that's fine. because we'll have to reconvert it anyways. And then if the receipt lists the conversion, if it has it in US dollars, then we'll use that. But if it doesn't, if it's in something else, then we'll convert it. So then you can click, you're like, okay, I had a hotel, but I also had a flight. Where do I put that? Add more receipts, expense type, amount, matching receipt. Add more receipts, and then you can go through, do that for a variety of receipts. This does eventually hit a limit, I forget, maybe 7 or so. And if you have a ton of receipts you're trying to do that are all small amounts to get up to your 2000, you could always just use this add attachments and just throw the receipts in there, and I'll see those and add them in for you. If for some reason you just have a lot of like Ubers that are small amounts, because it's hotel, flight, and ground transportation that qualify for. And once you're up to 2000, that's the max. So you just, if you have a $2,000 flight, just add that and you'd be done. But if you have, use miles, and then you have a bunch of ground transportation, you need to upload, 15 receipts, you can always just go and put them in here, and that's fine. I appreciate it if when you do the type and the amount, it makes it a little easier. So you can do that if you only have a couple. Then you would do, add more receipts. You'll see that. And then if you're like, okay, that was Norway, but I also did Sweden, you'll see add another trip. So rather than doing a second application, you could just add another trip, put where you went, what you did, the 2000 that you're requesting, upload your business meetings for that. And again, expense type, expense amount, upload the matching receipt, and then you can add more receipts. And then that typically, again, that's going to be, you'll be able to add all the receipts you need here, but there is this at the very bottom, add attachments if you need it for overflow receipts. You can even add another travel stipend if you did lots of trips. This part's important for us for the SBA, just to see that this activity results section, just to see that the ROI from these activities and that the grant actually helped generate the company some sales. So it'll ask you for some estimates. So it's like, did you have any immediate sales? So this you should have a pretty good idea of. And then we ask you to estimate out what that activity is going to generate for you. And then if you think that'll result in any hiring or help contribute to any retention. So you can add those in. Yes, yes. Say 1 and 1. Let's say we did a 10,000 there. We're going to expect 100,000 more. About that. And then this is always nice. If you have any comments, if you think this program was helpful for you, and if you have any comments on it, you can always put those in there. I really appreciate the comments, even if it's something clunky at the website that I could pass along. That's always good. Or if there's something else, if you used a contractor that you really liked, anything like that, put that in there. And then this is just agreements to the details. You put in your name, the date. So this is something some people will overlook. There's this, how do you want to receive your payment? Through the mail. That's something that we can do right away. Doesn't require any more paperwork. We just send it to the address we have on file. The address does have to match the address that was on that W-9 you submitted on your original application. So if you want to use a new address, let's say you've moved locations or you want it to your personal address or something, unfortunately, we would then have to get a new W-9 with that address, because the accounting sends it directly to the address that's on the W-9s, because then you can get your tax forms and everything correctly. So you could also click if you want it through electronic transfer. So in that case, if you click that, it's going to need this another form. So that's would be the downside. If you've done it before, then I already have it on file. You could just re-upload it, but it doesn't have any lag time to get it resubmitted, the form, because I already have the number listed for you. So if you've used it in the past, this will be a fairly fast route, because it can get wired to you instead of having to go by the mail. But if you have to submit the form, that first time you use it, there's a delay just because our accounting team has to process the form. And then, but it's probably still fast. It's a little bit faster than the speed of the mail, even the first time. But you do have to complete this. It'll be like your bank info on this form. So you just click that, fill it out, submit it. Make sure you fill it out all the way. And again, either a wet handwritten signature or a verified e-signature through something like DocuSign, or else I'll have to spit it back over to you via DocuSign to be re-signed, which is fine. And then once you got the minimum, you click that start application to create the draft. And then you can always come back. It'll be in your My Requests. And then you can always come back and recheck it. Again, if you want to come back, you could always follow those direct links to get back in here, rather than trying to go through the Commerce website, grants and loans. But once you click grants and loans, the nice thing is you'll be able to see your profile. So there it is there in My Requests. So you can always go through the website, but if you just follow that original link, it'll take you back to the form and you'll see My Requests. So that'll show you the status. It's in draft status. Like I've said before, the zeros are going to show up here. We do all the adding up of the receipts and in your request in the back end, and then communicate that to you via email. So don't worry about these zeros. And then you can come back there and edit stuff while it's in the draft form. Let's say you want to add a trade show you did, you completed, that you forgot to add. You come back in and add that. Then you go to My Requests. You can view this draft as well. Again, this is a little laggy, so you'll click it and you might not think it's taking you anywhere, but it'll take you there if you wait a second. But eventually, once your draft is ready to go, you can click again that submit application. That's the final step. And I can view, if you created a draft, I can view that. So I'll know you're working on something. And then I can always reach out if it's been sitting as a draft for a while and bug you about it, or help you get it officially submitted. So then there's our draft. You can see everything else you've submitted and withdrawn there. And then submit application. And that'll be all you need to do. You can see to withdraw it if you want to. Then we'll reach out to you and let you know, like, hey, we got your reimbursement, everything looks good. Or like, hey, we need a DocuSign signature on that, or these receipts don't match, or sometimes you just miss a receipt. So I can reach out for that info. But once you get to this stage, you should be theoretically good to go. And then depending on if it's coming through the mail, it'll take usually a few business days for our accounting people to process, then a few business days in the mail. So if you do it through the electronic version, electronic transfer, that'll be a little bit faster. The first time, again, it has that lag time to process the forms, but if you use it multiple times, that will be a little bit faster than through the mail. So yeah, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you later.